So today is a foggy day, but that's okay. We're not flying, we're riding. Transportation in China is actually really, really convenient. We've got, of course, buses, we've got subways here, but sometimes the buses and subways don't go to the places that you need to go. And so for that, you need to think of other options. And for me, my option is this. Alright, so here we are. Got our breakfast here from the local bakery. They make some really good little pastries. I think this is a blueberry pastry with cream cheese and a banana milk, which is very good. So I'm sitting here in a park right now. This is real close to our house. This is just behind our neighborhood, and they just built this. It's this really beautiful, sprawling, kind of like, I guess, a boardwalk, I guess you'd call it. And it goes behind these buildings. It's sort of sandwiched between these buildings and a highway, but it's really, really beautiful. There's a bunch of basketball courts. You might be able to hear that in the background. They've also got some badminton courts here. They've got a guy over here that's doing some sort of Tai Chi, which is kind of interesting to go watch. Anyway, lots of cool things around here. And it's nice to be able to have a place like this where you can just kind of come and relax. You know, when we first got here to China, these kinds of like parks and things, in our area anyway, were really, really rare, but they're becoming more and more common. In fact, there's another park that's opening up right next to us as well. So, yeah, it's really, really nice. Banana milk. I'm sure that sounds really good in the microphone. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this board. As you can see, it's about the size of a regular board. It's a little bit heavier, obviously, because it has battery. It has a battery pack here on the bottom. I believe the trucks are probably a little bit heavier than normal trucks, although I'm not really a skateboard rider, so I'm not really quite sure about that. The wheels are definitely heavier as well. So actually, this board I've had for a while. Almost a year. Last year in June, I went to go visit my parents who live in the south part of China, and I decided to, after much deliberation, get one of these electric skateboards, and I absolutely loved it. The wheels that were on that board were just like the normal, I guess, polyurethane wheels. Are much lighter, bright orange. But the problem was that the motor, which is located within this wheel, the rear wheel, was so hard. It was a big metal thing, and the wheel was so thin that the wheel was cracking as I would go over uneven terrain, which is kind of a problem here in China. So the wheel was getting all worn out. So I sent that board back, and they sent me another one, actually. They upgraded me to a newer version of the board, which was a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter, and it worked great. But that had the same problem with the wheel. So after a few months of that, I stopped riding it because it was just getting so weathered, and it was really uneven riding around. So what I did is, online, there's this thing kind of similar to Amazon in the States called Taobao. It's a really famous website here. Everyone uses it to buy things. You may have heard of it. I got myself a set of trucks that are, I guess, like not all-terrain, but they're more like off-roading wheels and trucks that all work as a set. And the set here, the rear wheels and the front wheels, which of course included the motor, was, how much was it? It was 325 renminbi. So like $48, about $48 US. And then I got myself a new grip tape, which comes as a big rectangle and then you cut it out with a razor blade. I didn't do a great job, but it looks okay from a distance, although it does get dirty pretty quick. So originally this board cost me, would you believe it or not, only $100, actually less than $100, about $94. And yeah, it's amazing. I've looked at similar boards on Amazon, American-made boards, and they're like $450 to $750. So of course the board quality probably isn't as good as the ones you get in the States, but it works great. I love it. And with these new off-roading wheels, I can take all kinds of terrain. So really a nice, convenient little thing to use to get around here in China.